All right, YouTube. I've got a 14 by 12 clearstory Tuff shed. And I just thought I'd go over the install and what to expect. First off, let's start with the foundation. So I had a third party, which, by the way, like Tuff Shed gives you, at least in my region, they gave me 4 different vendors that could do a foundation. Now I was ready to do it by myself, but man, life got busy. We just had a baby 2 weeks ago, and I found myself 2 days out from the install date being like, wow, I could stay up for 2 days and get this done, or I could pay someone. So I called one of them. They came out. It was $1,300 to lay these 2x6 framing with a gravel middle, and you know, it was great. The guy came out, he did it in a day. It took him all day, but he did it. And when they came out to start the installation, the shed was sitting just like a 1/16 of an inch off of the gravel, so it was encroaching on this frame. And I found out that the steel frame for the foundation, I think, comes in 16 or 18 foot sections, so they cut it to whatever size that you order if it's below that, and it might have been like a 1/16 of an inch too long. So what they ended up doing to fix it is they cut it just a little bit so it would fit inside of the foundation. So if you have someone doing the foundation, lesson here is have them extend it out just a little bit, like a 1/2 inch, so that the actual shed fits on here. Now, the reason why my foundation person did it that way is because I have a property line that I'm trying to squeeze this on. The second part of this is, if you want to do a deck, it's nice to have this 6-inch overhang. So I had them actually build this out just a little bit, which worked out well. So then they showed up. This build took 2 days. I had the overhead door, clearstory top, couple windows, and yeah, I'm gonna turn this into an office. That's my use case. I've got this nice little privacy shrub going on, and then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna build a deck right here. Now, when they came out, they leveled a little bit. You can see some of the shims here on the low hanging side, and then it builds up to the side that is the highest point. So happy with that. It's you know, doesn't look great, but I'm gonna build a deck out and you're not even gonna see it, so it's all good. A couple things I did have to check that maybe weren't done up to snuff that maybe you might want to look at. The paint, make sure that every corner is done. You don't want them leaving and you having to patch up anything. Second, with paint, ask them to keep the paint. They have their own canister for that, like container, but if you have your own that you can dump it into, even better. So I went and grabbed, I don't know, 1.5 gallons of it just to touch up things. And there was one area that they did not paint that I guarantee you, if you get a build that doesn't have the residential door on it, and it has this door, what's gonna happen is there's a gap here and a gap here, and it's not gonna be painted. So you're gonna have to go in and paint on the 2x4 if you want that filled in. Otherwise you see wood, which is very weird. So I just went ahead and painted in there. I'm gonna go ahead and drywall this out and get a mini split in and electrical and all that. Everything else was good. Look, there's fingerprints up there. You're gonna have to get up there and wipe them down if you care about those things. For me, I do, so I'm probably gonna get up there and do it. But the rest of it was good. Make sure that your windows work. They slide in and out easy. These are the best windows. They kind of, when you pull them out, it's so stupid. They don't have any mechanism to pull out, except when you unlock it, you can pull here, I guess, but it feels like I might break it. So their windows aren't the best, but they'll do. I got the biggest windows that they sell. I think it's 4x3. Yeah. Overall, I paid quite a bit more than I thought for a shed, but worth it, I think. I need to go ahead and add insulation and a bunch of other things. So good luck with your Tuff shed build. One last thing. The overhead door. So I thought this was a cool thing, but I'm starting to realize there's some gaps here. So the framing you're not gonna see on this side, but right here, I'm just thinking to myself like, oh man, a mouse can get in there and they're gonna love to make a home in my office. So I'm kind of wondering what the solution is for that. Maybe I'll post another video in a year and see if we get any rodents in here, because we've got a pretty big field that we butt up to, so who knows. All right, thanks YouTube.